All right, y'all, we back with another video. So as you can see on screen, we are here on the Imaginary Realm versus Hanami Formidable Valdo event. So if you aren't familiar with how this functions, this is going to be just like the SO and Ketsuzu fight that we had not too long ago. And how it works is you do any quest in the game, any quest that requires stamina, and you will receive imaginary residuals, and you use these imaginary residuals to tackle the boss, right? And then of course through the boss you are able to acquire imaginary medals, as you can see right here in the imaginary medal exchange, which you then can use to exchange for various items, you know, phantom medals, etc., things that you're gonna need and want. Now the event recycles back every so often, right? So if you can't beat all the stages now, you're not gonna miss out, so don't worry about it, don't stress. Just make sure to, like, you know, properly farm all the items from the exchange shop, even if you have to grind like lower difficulty floors, just because realistically you want to, you know, get everything that's there, so that way when it comes back, of course, it's going to be reset, and then you're gonna be able to acquire everything that's inside that again, right? Okay, so we're here on this screen. So this screen, we're going to talk about the stage effect, and then of course the, you know, what Hanami kind of does. So right here you can see as the stage effect, we have when using a Gen attribute skill increases physical technique and curse technique by 50%. So what Gen is, that's basically red, right? So as you can see right here, that icon is red. So Hanami EX2 is going to be very difficult, I know, for a lot of players, so I am going to be doing this guide. This one's going to be utilizing Yuta, but using free-to-play memories. I'm going to see if I could do this other one that I have planned up. It looks good on paper. It should be completely free-to-play. Like, everything is free-to-play accessible, but it requires you to have Hanami already, right? So I'll see. I'm going to try to at least run that one. If I do manage to get it to work, then of course I'll make another video which will be, you know, complete free to play, completely free to play. So we'll see. Now, without further ado, let's actually get into the teams. Well, not the teams, just the team, and then obviously in the other video will be teams. But this is going to be the team that we're going to be using. So we're going to have Yaga for buffing. We're going to have Yuki for our cursed energy regen, and then of course the ult. We're going to have Nanami for the same purpose, just buffing as Yaga. Yuta is going to be being our damage dealer. Now for memories, we have this memory because necessarily we do get the 10% curse technique increase to all allies. Now, of course, it scales on, you know, with the amount of allies having, you know, the student of Kyoto Jujutsu high attribute, right, within the wave. So we're gonna have this like essentially permanently. We don't really need this too much, but we will be using it at some point. We have Wasp for boosting our team's damage, Perfect Sync for boosting our team's damage, and then this is a free-to-play memory that we're going to be using, which is going to provide us 55% damage dealt increase to self for a total of 1 time. And then, of course, you will be getting, you know, passive, which is going to give you essentially a way to make sure that your Yuta doesn't die. Now, I've already said it before, you don't necessarily need to use this memory. If you have better memories, go ahead, go for it, use it. The only reason I'm using this memory is because it's free to play, right? It's free to play. That's the reason why I'm using it. So if you want to use something like non-standard, or use something like, I don't know, Pride or whatever, I mean, I'm pretty sure it should function. But if you want to just be safe, just use this memory. Now, in terms of usability, so I think to be able to do this method with this team, you probably need to have at least Yuta. He has to be grade 10. He has to be grade 10. So as you can see here, mine is grade 10, right? But I didn't put the levels in him yet. He has to be grade 10. On top of that, if you want to give the levels to him, go for it. I'm pretty sure people used also their Phantom Seal on him, so you might have more levels than me. Like I mentioned before, if you have a better memory to do damage, you can use that memory instead of this memory. Oh, also, I'm going to show you like the skills, so that way you can kind of get an idea of where my skills are at. Now, Yaga's at 10. He doesn't need to be at 10. He just needs to be at least at 8, but 10 is going to help you do more damage. Right here, you want to have his ult at least 8. I would say 8 for Yuki, but if you could get to 10, that's preferable. You're going to be using this character a lot, so naturally, you probably should be having his ult at 10. Now for Nanami, we are going to have his skill 2, of course, at 8, and then his ult can be anywhere ranging from 5 to 10. It's up to you. We don't need it too much here, but it does help. Your skill 3, you want to have your skill 3 invested in a little bit. In my case, I have it at level 1. If you have it a little bit invested in, a little bit more, that would be good, because once we get into the second phase and we're in Hanami's domain, we're going to be dealing some damage with his skill 3, so you definitely want to have his skill 3 up. Now, for your ultimates, Yuta, naturally, to make this as safe as possible, you probably should have his ultimate at 10. His skill 3 needs to be at least 7, and then his skill 1 needs to be at least maybe 5 or 6. It's not going to be a crazy amount of damage, so you don't have to worry too much about it. And then skill 2, you don't really care about. I'm going to be honest with you, you don't really care about in this situation at all. And yeah, that's going to be everything. I believe I talked about everything, so you should have it. Here's the stats and everything, so you can kind of see where you're at with your stats. And yeah. All right, so let's get into it. Now I'm just gonna run through it one by one, so that way you can kind of get you know, an understanding of what I'm doing. But you don't have to follow me to a T. Now, we're going to be using our Yaga skill 2 practically almost the entire fight until we get into phase 2. Now, here you can use your memories, the memory on Yuki with your skill 3. Then you use Nanami skill 2, and then you use the memory on Yuta with skill 3. Now, if you have a strong Yuta like I do, this is probably going to be like working against you, so you probably might not want to use the memories here. But if you have like no dupes in your Yuta, or you only have one dupe at least, you probably want to use these memories here. But you'll see in a bit why it's a big issue to actually use your memory if you have a strong enough Yuta, because then you'll do too much damage and you'll kill the boss right before we need to do the you know, make sure everybody has ults and get the memories back. It's a hassle, right? So if you have a strong enough Yuta, probably just don't use the memories, because you'll do too much damage and kill the boss before you actually get your cooldown done. Here we're going to be using skill 2, Yuki skill 1, Hanami skill 2, and then Yuta skill 3. But I only did it here on this video, obviously, so that way people who are doing this, they can kind of like try to replicate it. So we're going to skill 2, Yaga, Yuki skill 1, Nanami skill 2, and then Yuta is probably going to be using skill 1 now that he has not enough curse energy. 29 is a crime. The best case scenario here is if Hanami keeps attacking Yuta, because we wanted to make sure that Yuta is using the least amount of heals as possible, so that way we can use them when we actually need them and not when only one character is low. So good spread damage is nice here, so you can RNG it if you want to. I'm not going to be doing that. And we use skill 1 again on Yuta. And he's going to heal again. Then here we're on turn 5, so we're going to Yaga skill 2. We're going to Yuki skill 3. We're going to Nanami skill 2. And then we're going to use Yuta skill 3 here. This should break the boss. Very good. The boss is broken now. We healed again. Unfortunate, because now we don't have like any heals. We got Yaga skill 2, Yuki skill 1, Nanami skill 2, and then Yuta is going to be using skill 1 here. Trying to be really careful. Not trying to do too much damage to the boss. You see I do a lot. I don't want to kill it. Now we're on turn 7. So turn 7 we're going to skill 2, Yuki skill 1, and then Nanami skill 2 again. And then here I think I'm going to use my skill 2. No. Maybe I use skill 1 and then use my skill 3. Or maybe because if I skill 2 and then skill 3, that's a lot of cursed energy usage. I'm probably going to want to use skill 1 and then skill 3. Yeah, we should be good. Then we'll buff Yuki skill 3, because we want to make sure we have that up before we start going into the next phase, so we can charge up as much curse energy as possible. Skill 2 on Nanami, and then we're going to use skill 3 here. If the boss is really low, it's like, don't bother using skill 3. Just use one of your other ones so you can like use your skill 1 or something to make sure that you're not like wasting too much cursed energy. You want to have a lot of cursed energy for the next phase. Right here, we're going to use skill 3, and yeah, the boss should be dead here. Yeah, I mean, even without the Black Flash, I did like 500k there, so the boss would have died anyways. Okay, so we're here on the actual turn with the ults. So let's show you what the actual rotation for this is. So we're going to be using the, excuse me, not the memory. We're going to be using Yaga's ult. You're probably going to be like, why are you using Yaga's ult and not his buff? Well, the reason for that is because, I mean, we need to literally have a combo ult with, you know, Yaga and our Yuki. And then we also need to have a combo ult with our Yuta, excuse me, with our Nanami and our Yuta. We're trying to do as much damage as possible so we can get that break in. And since the boss does have a damage taken, you know, by 150%, having that damage taken increase to the enemy is going to help you substantially. So, you know, using your ultimate here is going to be the best way to go about it. Then we're going to be using the memory as well as Yuki's skill, ult skill. Then we're going to be using Nanami with his memory with his ult. And you're probably asking, why am I using that? Like, it's fine. Trust me, you're going to be getting a damage dealt increase still with this, right? It's going to be substantially lower, yes, but you're still getting it at least, and you're going to be able to use the perfect sync, which is going to help you a lot more because it's going to provide 35% damage dealt to increase to all your allies. Then we're going to use the memory here, and then Yuta's ult, of course, naturally, like we have to. This is the nuking turn, so this is what your, you know, kind of like lineup is going to look like when you're ready to, you know, nuke the boss. So we're going to do damage here. If we Black Flash here with Nanami on his ult, I'm pretty sure we probably will break the Hanami in one hit. That's what we don't want. We want to make sure that the Hanami survives, because if the Hanami gets broken here before firing off the ult, and Hanami does fire off the ult after, we're going to literally get cooked, because they will have 3 full turns of nothing stopping them. Okay, so the boss is not broken. That's good. Now the boss will do their ult, which is good for us because now all we have to do is literally just attack the boss. All we have to do is literally just attack the boss here. They will get broken, and then we will literally be safe for like 2 turns, right? So yeah, easy as that. We're just going to use the memory and then use Yaga's skill 3 because, of course, you know, Hanami's just annoying, you know, decreasing damage taken and everything. So it's like, we're just going to use skill 3 here. Oh, yeah, with the memory too. I'm pretty sure I've said that before, but I'll just say it again. We're going to be using the Yuki and skill 1. We're going to be using Nanami skill 3 because we're trying to deal as much damage as possible here. And then we're going to use the skill 3 Yuta. This is going to break the boss. Okay, boss is broken. Get some damage in. Bit nice. Then we're going to buff again so that way we can get some damage buffs in at least. We're going to skill 1 with Yuki again. And then we are going to Nanami skill 3, get some more damage in, and then Yuta skill 3. So now we're going to use Yaga skill 3 again to increase the damage taken. Then we're going to use skill 1 on Yuki, and then we are going to use skill 3 on Nanami, and then skill 3 on Yuta once more. Then we'll Yaga skill 3. Yuki skill 3 so we can regen, and then Nanami doesn't have enough to do skill 3. Naturally you would probably do skill 3 here, but we didn't have enough cursed energy because we got a little bit unlucky earlier in the fight, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. The main goal now is just to kill off whatever's left on the Hanami, which should be relatively easy with what we have left, right? Because we do have the revive on Yuta anyway, so we're not gonna, so even if we do manage to die, we're gonna revive, and yeah, GG, he's cooked. So we can just buff with Nanami here, it's fine. And then skill 3 again with our Yuta. And yeah, I mean, even though we got extremely unlucky there and the boss survived with like a smither of HP, as you can see, we basically did the whole Hanami fight and nobody's dead. We have three red characters. It's below the turn requirement for the missions. So yeah, I mean, pretty much it. That's literally all you have to do. And I mean, we're just gonna ult here, even though it's a little bit overkill. And yeah, the boss should be dead. Easy as that. And that's going to be the Hanami versus battle. Now, it's very tight, very difficult. I just want to say this right now. JP had also this event, and it was literally a nightmare that they had to actually nerf the event. So, I mean, cheers, you know, Global's going to get the same fucking mess. And yeah, here it is, this difficult ass fucking fight. I mean, you want hard content? We got one. So nice, right? But anyways, this is going to be the free-to-play team with Yuta. I'm going to try to put out another video, a free-to-play one without Yuta. Now that one's going to be kind of hard to do. It's going to take quite some time, and I mean, if you're dedicated enough, you'll probably be able to do it. It's just, let's see if I'm willing to do it though. Like, holy bro, that's going to take me a long time to even do that fight. I'm telling you, literally. But we'll see. If I could get it to work consistently, I'll probably put out a video for it, like the most free to play as possible. But this is going to be free to play with just Yuta, right? With Yuta. I mean, like, Yuta's obviously not a free to play option, but trust me, a lot of free to play players should have him, so it shouldn't be an issue here. Anyways, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.